Well, hey, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself, and today we're going to do something for all of you. The Bible says a merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, so we're going to deal with the heart, and the heart of all things. A lot of you are taking statin drugs and blood pressure drugs and drugs, and taking the wrong drugs. Those drugs, quit, There used to be an old TV show back in the 70s that said, say no to drugs, They used to have a thing there with a frying pan with oil, hot oil, and they'd crack an egg and with sizzle. They'd say, this is your brain on drugs with the oil, and then they put the egg in there and the egg's going, and this is your brain on drugs. Leave the drugs alone. Especially the pharmaceutical ones. If you're going to do drugs, do the street stuff. It's safer. No, just kidding.
Jesus.
Don't really get hell over that one. Anyway. All right. Don't do any drugs. Seriously, it's not worth it. You don't have to do drugs for the heart. The reason why a lot of you have heart problems is because you're eating these grains. The sugar, the carbohydrates in those grains are been genetically altered. Now, for those of you who will debate with me on this, because some of you like to debate for no reason, go on my script of the show in my webpage, http://augmented/52webs.com. We got it at the end of the video. Dave always puts it on there. You go look at the December 2012 script. And in there, under the December 7th script, there's a link there called mycotoxins. You might want to investigate this before you get into any kind of grain. And that would include quinoa, amaranth, or any other just alternative stuff that's being sold as a bread. Gluten was never a problem. Never was. The reason why gluten is a problem today is because it's been genetically altered. Because of the high glutamate content in the gluten today, it's causing all kinds of brain dysfunctions. But that's the minor problem with grains. The higher problem is the mycotoxins and the high levels of estrogens in the grains. And if you're a male, testosterone is what we run on. This is what we are. Highest concentration of testosterone is in the heart. So, when you're taking highly estrogenic food, you drop your testosterone, you have a weak heart. Now, I'm going to show you some remedies for the heart. There's tons of them out there. You got cayenne pepper, can help the heart, ginger, garlic, onion, all kinds of things can help the heart. Papaya, eating pineapple. The problem with these drugs, they will tell you not to eat certain foods because there will be an interactivity with the food and the drugs, which is true. Which is an indication for you why you shouldn't take drugs, but you should use food or supplements that work. And don't get into this whole food nonsense because there's really no legitimacy to a lot of this whole food nonsense that they're selling. This molecule works this way. These are made with synthetics. Everything that you're buying today in a vitamin is synthesized in a lab. Doesn't matter where it's coming from or how it's coming from. In order to get the specific nutrient value of a vitamin, they have to manipulate it. So whether it's coming from X, Y, Z or A, B, C, it's still coming from someplace and they got to put it together. Anyway, now I'm going to give you my take on a merry heart or a strong heart. Taurine should be number one with a lot of you. A lot of you are low in taurine. Okay, it facilitates the transport of potassium and magnesium into the cells, to prevent and treat cardiomyopathy. The dose is between 1 to 4 grams or 1,000 to 4,000 milligrams. Okay, it can improve cardiac and respiratory function in congestive heart failure patients. So those who have already had a heart attack, taurine should be at the top of your list. All right, taurine concentrates in the heart. 5 to 6 grams a day may alleviate ischemic heart disease by normalizing potassium flow in and out of the cardiac muscle cells. Taurine normalizes the electrical excitability of the cell membranes. One of the reasons why some of you have epilepsy or aneurysms sometimes. Aneurysms are not always caused by this, but sometimes a lot of you have epilepsy because you have a low taurine content and you're eating high glutamate foods like grains or MSG or some other type of foods that have a high level of glutamates, which causes an overexcitatory effect on the brain cells. This regulates the heart. So the heart cells don't go kind of thing, because you're giving them a drug and they're going, okay, you don't need this, okay? Now, taurine modulates the activity of the cyclic AMP with cardiac muscle. In other words, it helps produce ATP. You need ATP for the muscle in order for the muscle to have energy to work. Persons who have experienced a heart attack often exhibit a very low taurine level subsequently to their heart attack. Taurine may also help to prevent a heart attack. Okay, taurine is the most abundant and most important amino acid in the heart. It presents in the heart the greater quantities than all other aminos combined. So, get your taurine. Now, for you vegans, not vegetarians, for you vegans, there is no known source of taurine in the vegetable kingdom or in the fruit kingdom. You must get that from meat or supplementation. So if you are incensed on being insane and just eating vegetables and fruits and soy, okay, then you must get it from some kind of supplement. Okay, you have to. There's no way you're going to get it. That's why some of you look so listless when I talk to some of you, because again, you have no power in the heart. When we're looking at that, that's one thing. Taurine also may help prevent a stroke, because like I said, sometimes the strokes are a result of a high level of glutamate, which causes a overloading of the brain. Sometimes a stroke can be a pinching of the blood cells. But again, when taurine regulates magnesium and potassium, it keeps the blood vessels open like they should be. All right, magnesium citrate or malate. The reason why I like the citrates is because they go into the muscle tissue. Okay, so do the malates. That's part of the Krebs cycle. So magnesium goes into the muscle, and guess what? Your heart's a muscle. Okay, so magnesium may exert an antispasmodic effect on blood vessels, improves heart function in the cardiomyopathy patients, may be beneficial for the treatment of dilated cardiomyopathy, may prevent and treat most types of cardiovascular diseases. Approximately 85% of mitral valve prolapse patients exhibit magnesium deficiency. For those of you who have this condition, mitral valve prolapse, that means you've got a leaky valves that leak blood. I have found when we've given people taurine with magnesium and potassium, it seems to rectify some of that condition. Sometimes it clears it up for some people. So again, it could be a deficiency of both taurine and magnesium. Okay? Let's see here. We're really getting into the nitty-gritty? Nitty-gritty. Okay. Magnesium supplementation may provide significant protection against strokes. Again, the blood vessels that supply the brain are prone to vascular spasm during magnesium deficiency. Some of you have migraine headaches. Sometimes a migraine headache is a result of the blood vessels are constricted. So when you take magnesium and taurine, guess what? It opens them up. Blood flows, no more headache. Okay.
Just as a quick aside, is multiple sclerosis a similar condition where
multiple sclerosis usually,
or is it that blood flows up and doesn't come down?
Well, multiple sclerosis could be a lot of different things. I mean, it may help it.
I just thought of that Dr. Zamboni out in Italy or whatever, that he does something with the valves to open them up so that blood flows easily to the brain.
You may be dumping magnesium into them. It's a possibility.
Yeah, so I'm just curious if this is related at all.
Muscular sclerosis usually is a result of the cells are not communicating; they're broken down, or there's not a lack of communication or whatever, and sometimes it's along the spine. So a lot of times repairing the myelin sheet, which taurine does repair the myelin sheet, which increases the connectivity of the cells to communicate. So does wheat germ oil. So does saturated fat. So I'm not sure what he's doing in Italy there in that regard, as what method he's using. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that's because I've got people that have MS and I give them wheat germ oil, and usually after a couple of months they're walking better, a lot better, more coordinated. And again, it's because of the vitamin E, the octocosanol in it, and it helps, again, repair the myelin sheet. So I'm not sure what he's doing, but again, similar effect would happen too, because the vitamin E could open up blood flow as well. Mm-hmm. And vitamin E is part of the heart. You need it too. All right, let's see here. Magnesium deficiency in these vascular spasms that occur during magnesium deficiency may result in stroke. Magnesium supplementation, the cerebral arteries may relax and blood circulation in the brain to, well, we said about even the headache. Magnesium administered within 6 hours after occurrence of a stroke may reduce the after effect of strokes. about 100 milligrams of potassium citrate, 99 milligrams. So it doesn't need much. Now we regulate the heart and use each initially one dose 3 times a day. So you have to do that dose, 100, 99, take the taurine at about 500 milligrams, 3 times a day minimal. Usually we have found, in my dealing with people with health issues, that when we're giving them supplementation, the magic number is 5. I said this in another video. When you do things 5 times a day, that's when you start getting on top of whatever is ailing you or causing you to be defective or deficient. Anything less than that, I found, doesn't really work that well. It's like you're just sort of breaking even. 3 a day may just get you to a point where you're just stabilized. I don't want to be stabilized, I want to be fixed. Okay? So I look at, and again, that's just been our experience, whether we're dealing with cancer, people who have been afflicted with cancer, whether we're dealing with people who have been afflicted with neuropathies, diabetes, a whole host of things that we've helped people with. 5 a day seems to be the magic number. So I think if you're going to be doing this to not only just offset the damage, but to repair the damage or to get back in a reboot mode, if you will, we're going to reboot you. Okay, do 5 a day. Potassium is crucial to heart functions and plays a key role in skeletal and smooth muscle concentration, making it important for normal digestive and muscular function. Increasing potassium intake increases the risk. Increasing potassium intake reduces the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Now, some are going to say, "Well, I'm going to go get me a banana." No, bananas. If you're going to eat a banana, they've got to be as black as that. Okay? They got to be black. The old saying, "Black is beautiful." Well, there you go. That's how it's got to be.
Let me just. It's got to be this black.
That black.
That black.
Okay? So we're going to get to that black is beautiful thing here, okay? Because the reason why it's got to be that black is because sugar displaces minerals. All right? And when you eat a yellow banana, 1 cup of a yellow banana is equivalent to 1 cup of white sugar. So whatever potassium that might be there is gone out the door. I got one guy send me a YouTube saying, "Well, I feel great eating bananas." It's because he was getting a sugar rush. His insulin was spiked all over the place. Well, it's just like anything else. If I take sugar, even with protein or creatine, and I take enough sugar with that, it'll spike that right because the insulin will spike it and take those aminos everywhere. And also, yeah, I feel great, but really what you've got is a sugar rush. Okay, So potassium, if you're going to get it, better source of potassium is an avocado. Okay, I like avocados better. They've got more nutritional value. They've got omega-9 fats, which for you guys, that's testosterone. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so go with the flow. Okay, pistachios also have potassium. Okay, there are foods, if you go online and look, okay, that you can get potassium from, and you don't have to spend a fortune. Supplemental potassium. Potassium you're going to get either potassium citrate or potassium chloride. Okay, they both are very penetrating. One goes into the muscle tissues, one goes into the cells. All right, so either way, you're not going to lose on that. All right. Now, I guess I should have been showing people. Okay, here's magnesium. Magnesium powder. Okay, this is a magnesium citrate. Okay. This is a potassium. This is basically a potassium bicarbonate. Okay, I use that because I use it for something else, but this is another form. But you can get a. Aha! Can't show you the label because they will give me crap because I'm endorsing it.
Oh no, that's fine. If you're bashing the label, that's different.
All right, potassium chloride. Now brand sells it. Now, I know those of you in Europe that watch me, I was surprised to hear some countries like Brussels and some places can't get potassium chloride. It's a prescription drug there. I'm like, really? Codex has got to go. We should all, start walking around the planet and saying Codex, FDA, EFSA, and any other Ministry of Health that's designed to destroy our health. Why are 145 countries Codex compliant is beyond me. But they gotta go. All right, hawthorn leaf or hawthorn berry. Here we go. Hawthorn leaf or hawthorn berry. Now, you can make a tea out of that. You can make a tincture out of that. You can make a jam out of that. Hawthorn berry jam. Why not? Add a little honey, blend your berries, Put it together, you just made a jam. You're jamming. All right, hawthorn leaf. See, my dinosaur side of me is coming out here. After the dinosaur, we were jamming back then. Okay, there you go. There's your jamming. All right.
That's awesome.
Hawthorn may improve the utilization of oxygen by the cardiac muscle and improves blood circulation to the cardiac muscles. Hawthorn may prevent and treat many cardiovascular diseases. Hawthorn, as a pre-treatment, may minimize the brain damage that occurs in the occurrence of ischemic stroke. Notice how all of these not only affect the heart, but they affect the head. Notice that? Because without the blood getting to the head, guess what? You go over and you're done. Okay? So we need that blood to flow. Okay? I like my brain while functioning. I like the oxygen to get there so my brain can say, hey, I can breathe and blood flow. Hey, nutrients are coming in. You know, I can think and function. You don't want to walk around with a daze, oh, where am I? What am I doing? Okay, because the heart's not getting what it needs. Okay, stabilize the heart. I think there is a proverb that says, guard well thy heart, for from it flow the well springs of life. No truer words are ever spoken. You protect your heart, you protect your body. Okay, because the heart is a key part of you. Okay, that also, I'm just not talking even on the physical elements here, even on the emotional side. Okay, the heart is very key to maintaining and sustaining health. It's what gives you your will to fight. Okay, to resist being inflicted. It's what gives you your will to be healthy, to thrive in life. A lot of guys having problems with ED. They're flowing south in the winter because you got a weak heart. Okay, heart is strong, everything else goes up. Okay, but if the heart's weak, insignificant things are not going to be functioning in the body. And I'm not saying the reproductive organs are insignificant, but on the scale of from survival to reproduction, survival is number one. So again, the heart is imperative that you keep it strong. All right, where are we at here? Aha! Hawthorn may protect the heart against hypoxia. Hawthorn may alleviate congestive heart failure by increasing the strength of cardiomuscle contractions, increasing blood circulation. See, you don't need drugs. These are things that you can get anywhere. And you can get hawthorn leaf almost anywhere. Chinese markets, Asian markets sell the berry. The seeds have a cyanide in them, which kills cancer. Ooh, cancer killing, heart supporting, you can't go wrong. The leaf and flower is a little stronger than the fruit, just so you know. That's why I brought both out there. But if you can't get one, you can get the other, and they both have a great effect. Okay. Way out here. Most contractions increasing blood circulation to the heart by reducing the resistance of blood circulation in peripheral tissue. Hawthorn may improve the production of energy within the heart because it too produces ATP. Isn't that interesting? Ginger produces ATP for the heart. Ginger also produces testosterone. Ooh. And hawthorn leaf neutralizes estrogen. Wow. T up, E down, strong heart. Can't go wrong. All right. Where am I at here? Hawthorn may help to prevent heart attack, and ginger root may increase the contraction of strength. So hawthorn and ginger, so you want to put them together, okay? Make a tea out of them. May increase the contraction strength of the heart, may improve energy production of the heart due to the ability to increase the production of ATP, which we just said. Isn't that something? And they want to put you on a drug. Hey, have a statin. Have a couple of them. Why don't you? Let's give you this stuff here. All right, so you don't need drugs, okay? You need to watch what you eat. Sugar is the #1 protagonist for ill health. Sugar displaces minerals out of the body. Sugar feeds cancer in the body. Sugar feeds fungus in the body. Sugar destroys tissue in the body, nerve endings, okay? This is one of the reasons why I tell you don't eat the grains, because the grains, what are they? They're sugar, but they've been genetically engineered to create a problem for you. So again, don't eat, lay off the sugar. Men, the #1 thing that kills men is heart failure. Because when the insulin goes up, your testosterone goes down. Testosterone drops in the heart, guess what? You're fighting. You're fighting to live. All right. So, what are we going to do here? You can make a tea out of the hawthorn leaf. You can make a tincture out of it. Okay. Simple little formula would be to take some ginger, peel the ginger, chop it up, throw it in the pot, take a teaspoon or tablespoon of the hawthorn leaf or berry, boil them up, and start drinking the tea every day. Excuse me, drink it several times a day. Rosemary is another herb you can use as well, which stabilizes the heart. It's another herb that you have at your disposal, and it's cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Okay? You don't have to go to a health food store and spend $99 zillion for a little capsule of ginger. Go to the grocery store and buy it. You know, you don't need to be killing yourself on this. Oh, but it looks so nice in the package. All right, but that's one thing. Now, where's the This is olive oil. This is a commodity. It's a commodity extra virgin. It's a Greek one. Now, before you go out and run into the store, you're going to reach out and grab your olive oil. Whatever brand you're buying, research it to make sure it hasn't been counterfeited. Olive oil is the most counterfeited oil on the planet. Now, as to date, this one here, to date, is not counterfeit. Now, all kinds of countries have been popped. California's been popped for counterfeiting. Australia's been popped for counterfeiting. Italy definitely has been popped for counterfeiting. Even some of the Portuguese oils have been popped for counterfeiting. So again, research. Look at your brand. Type in, has it been counterfeited? You know, and if it has been, then change the brand. Okay. There's only so many olive trees on the planet. So it's very easy for them to add sesame seed oil, sunflower oil. One article I read one time, I don't forget what company it was, but what they did is they took canola oil, which is very lethal and toxic. They added chlorophyll to it and beta-carotene so it would smell like olive oil, and then they labeled it olive oil and sold it.
Jeez.
Okay, so
I was in Arizona to visit my parents, and so my mom brought out this basil oil. Yeah. So we're cooking with it. I'm thinking, you know, basil oil, like this must be. I'll try it. Yeah. I look at the. But it said it in the ingredients. If you care to look, it was canola oil was the #1 ingredient. Then it was something else, and then it was the essential. Basically, basil was like the last ingredient, and it was only for like flavoring, and that's it. So they called it basil oil, but it was anything, you know, but. Yeah. But basically, it was just flavoring. That's it.
Canola oil is the most lethal oil you could ever eat, bar none. Okay, it's a high omega-3 oil. It cannot take the heat. Omega-3s cannot be heated over 104 degrees. So when you're cooking with it, you're about 180, 200, whatever, right? That oil has just been torched. So the carcinogens you're getting from that omega-3 cooked is very lethal. I do not encourage anybody to use anything either in a butter, synthetic butter, what I call synthetic butter, because that's not even butter, that's just crap. I'm going to feed it to a pig. You know, seriously, when I have more respect for pigs, you know, they feed them that crap. Yeah, because margarine is nothing but plastic, but then we're going to add soy and canola to it. Hey, ooh, 2 double whammies, both of them. Canola oil scars the thyroid. Did you know that? How many of you got goitrogenic? Not goitrogenic. How many you got hypo or hyperthyroidism? How many of you got their parathyroid all screwed up? That could be because you've been eating canola. Canola. Okay, and then soy on top of that. Ooh, let's have soy. And then they run around and tell you, get that kale in you, boy. Get that kale, get that broccoli. Whatever, kale and broccoli. Cruciferous vegetables. If you've got a thyroid issue, don't eat anything that's cruciferous. That includes daikon, radishes, cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli. Especially this kale. If you want to eat them like once a week or something like that, not a problem. But if you already got a compromised thyroid, that's the last thing you want to eat. And they're going to tell you, especially you women, you got those, you know, high beams there, right? It'll protect you from cancer. Iodine is what you need, not this. Sulforaphane vegetables are high sulfur, which can pull iodine out of the body. So as you can see, it's a bit of a contradiction there about what they're doing. Here, take this to protect your high beams. Really? I like looking at women's high beams. I got to tell you, I think it's a normal biological function. I like to see healthy ones, you know. And I don't think you need to have cancer there to remove anything there. I think God gave you those high beams for a reason. So keep them healthy by taking iodine, not kale or broccoli. Okay, these things, again, if you already compromised on the thyroid, These are the last foods you want to eat. Soy, canola, cruciferous vegetables, peas, these things are all goitrogenic. And some of you will take some cauliflower and some broccoli and some cabbage and eat them in a dip. Ooh. And the next thing you know, I don't feel so good. My energy's down. Wonder why. Thyroid's saying, you're killing me. Okay, so, we got off topic there. Okay, olive oil.
All because of olive oil, huh?
All because of olive oil. Your fault. No. All right. Okay, the olive oil has shown to be has anti-atherogenic activity. It reduces monocytoid cell adhesion to stimulate endothelium void. Simply put, it allows the blood to flow.
Okay.
Okay, really simple. When we're looking at that's the one. Okay, it also can help produce elevated glutathione levels, which is interesting. Okay, glutathione again protects one of your main antioxidants. So when we're looking at some of this, and it keeps the fat from oxidizing. When you're looking at something simple as this. In Italy, when they did open heart surgery, this is back in the 1980s, again showing you my dinosaur age here. When they did open heart surgery, the first thing they did, they didn't give statins to anybody. They gave them a tablespoon of olive oil twice a day. And the return visits to the hospital for heart condition, there was no repeats. Okay, so, but again, you gotta make sure it's not a counterfeit. Okay, not a counterfeit. Wheat germ oil, that's one of my favorite oils. I like wheat germ oil. It works on so many different fronts. We've had people who had brain dysfunctions, spinal dysfunctions, heart dysfunctions, energy dysfunctions. Let's say you're traveling somewhere and you're going to be at high altitude. One of the things that wheat germ oil does is it takes the load of high altitude stress. And when you fly in that airplane and you get all that pressure on you, it can help alleviate that. All right. It has vitamin E, again, which restores normal heart rhythm. May increase myocardial resistance to excessive cellular calcium. They may cause heart attacks. Vitamin E at 400 IUs twice a day may reduce the incidence of heart disease. Vitamin E may inhibit the ability of alcohol to damage the heart. Wow. Isn't that interesting? So have a little wine or brandy and some vitamin E and you're good to go. So, because what does brandy do? All right, I'm going to get off topic here. Let's say you wake up in the morning or you're busy throughout the day and you feel very heavy chested, okay? You're going to get a little brandy, okay? Brandy is dandy, and you're going to use about an ounce of that, and you're going to down it. The reason why you're going to down it is because it's going to open up the blood vessels, and brandy strengthens the heart. It's an old 1920 remedy. Okay, it can stop an onset of a heart attack. Now, for those of you, I say maybe prone to a stroke, you want to keep a bottle of wine beside you. I didn't bring a bottle of wine because then they thought I was opening a bar here. But if you get a bottle of wine, you cork that thing, and you drink the whole bottle if you feel a stroke coming, and it'll save you from the ravages and the damages of a stroke. It will open up the blood vessels and keep things going. I know this works firsthand because I had a relative that had a stroke, and they did this. And you got to remember, we're Mediterranean, so a glass of wine for us is about that big. He drank that, and the paramedics that came to see him was surprised that he was still standing, and the only thing he lost was his peripheral vision, which he got back by using niacinamide and inositol. So again, you've got things around you all the time. If you're worried about heart while you're sleeping, keep a little cayenne pepper around, or brandy. See, this is Canada. If it was the United States, it would be a lot bigger for the money I paid for this. Canada, they rape us. So to have a good healthy heart with alcohol in Canada, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
This much is what the retailer makes. The rest is government tax.
I can buy Canadian products cheaper in the States
than you can here.
That are made here,
yeah.
You know, in Windsor.
Welcome to Canada, eh? The land of the great tax. So anyway, there's something else. Oh yeah, okay. Finally, on the heart thing, enzymes. Anybody past the age of 40, you should probably be using enzymes because your food's been corrupted and stripped anyway. But enzymes, you got over 5,000 enzymes in the body that regulate almost every bodily function you have. And one of the things enzymes do is they break down congested blood and proteins in the blood vessels, which allow the blood to flow. Now, I'm a big fan of serrapeptase. I'm not a big fan of natto. I don't like natto. I think natto, you don't need it, really. It's a soy-based product. Who the hell needs soy? So, anyway, but I'm a big believer of serrapeptase, and serrapeptase has had over about 70, 80 years of actual research. Now, it doesn't have to be enteric-coated. I think that's a lot of nonsense. When I hear the word enteric-coated, how I'm interpreting this is I'm swallowing a pill that will not break down and I'll poop out the back door. That's what I read. Now, the research says that if you got an enteric-coated vitamin, it'll get down into the colon and dissolve over a period of time. Really? How many of you have a congested colon? You can't barely digest your food. This is why you're distended out the ear every time you eat something. So get it on enteric-coated. You don't need to. When your pancreas produces enzymes, it goes into the stomach and then down into the lower GI. And they have found enzymes in the lower GI. So it does get there. Now the other, and again, if you're going to use serrapeptase, 10 to 20 milligrams is what you should be using, which is equivalent to 20,000 or 40,000 serrapeptase units or SU units. Okay, sometimes they label them as AU units. I don't believe in taking the big doses. I believe in taking smaller doses throughout the day because the bigger doses can thin the blood and cause nosebleeds. If you are using enzymes, you must not use anything like warfarin or what's the other rat poison that they give people? Any blood thinning agents. Okay, do not use it. Do not combine them, and again, shouldn't be used. That's one.
Is there any risk with thinning of the blood with loosening some sort of blood clots or anything?
Not with the enzymes.
No.
Because the enzymes are breaking them down. That's why you're using small amounts throughout the day. So
I've just heard people when they're cautious because they got blood clotting issues, and if they thin it too much, then it can loosen something, and then...
Well, the way this thins it is by breaking down the protein that holds the blood clots. So the protein are being dissolved. So it's a different thing. When they give you a blood thinner, it's just thinning the blood so anything can move.
Right.
Okay, so whatever you got in the blood vessels is going to move with it. But this is breaking it all down.
I see.
Dissolving
That's
it.
the difference.
So that's a huge difference. So again, everything down in the medical is about half-assed, really. It's sad, but because again, this is medical knowledge known way back turn of the century, and yet here we're not practicing this in medical. I don't get that. Trypsin is another enzyme that will help again break down blood clots. Trypsin and chymotrypsin. Again, the way they do it, I mean, it breaks down any proteins in the blood. It heals a lot of things. Back in the day when they used to do surgery and when they cut you open and they were doing stuff sewing you back, they would throw trypsin enzymes inside the wound when they sewed you up just to make sure that there was any kind of pathogen, blood, whatever, it would break it down. So again, that's how safe they are. Bromelain and papain. Okay, here you go. Here's another simple little thing you can chew regularly. Okay, papaya enzymes. Bromelain enzymes, which are made from pineapple. Okay, something simple like this, consumption with your food or even in between a meal. Again, to help with the breaking down of proteins that cause the blood clots. They're antifibrogenic. So this is something very, 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 very simple to do. Now, what causes heart failure? What's the main cause of heart failure? Homocysteine, not cholesterol. This crap about cholesterol and causing this and that. Cholesterol is a benefactor to the body. So what causes it is homocysteine. And what's the issue behind homocysteine? It's usually a lack of B12, folic acid, B3 and B1, and sometimes methionine, which convert the cysteine from, when you eat meat, any kind of animal protein, can produce a protein called homocysteine, which can attack the heart. This can, again, converts the homocysteine to L-cysteine, which again benefits the heart, benefits the body because it converts it to L-glutathione. So basically, We did a video about how to make your B vitamins more absorbable by taking, you can take your B12, folic acid, mix it, powder them up, mix them in yogurt, let them sit overnight, and consume them regularly. And that should help, again, regulate that condition so you have an adequate amount of B12 folic acid in your body to regulate protein assimilation and the conversion of homocysteine. Homocysteine is the key culprit here. Okay, C-reactive protein basically is what that is it's an inflammation biomarker saying that you've got some kind of proteins in the body that are showing that you've got something going on. But it's the homocysteine that you've got to watch out for. Okay, so that pretty well sums it up. So you got your oil, you got your alcohol, you got your enzymes, you got your herbs, you got your vitamins. You don't need drugs. Keep the heart healthy, keep the heart strong. It'll keep you alert, it'll keep you physically strong, and it'll keep you going.
So just as a quick summarization of everything here, you're supposed to take all of this,
no.
Have everything on hand? Not all at once, no. but
any combination thereof or anything. I mean, you can just do the tea.
Okay.
You can just do the oil. You can do both tea and oil.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good question because I probably couldn't get that answer anyway. Do I need to take all this?
All this, I could see someone running out and getting everything.
It wouldn't hurt to have it on hand, but you don't have to do it all. Say in the morning you get up and you're making a tea or a brew, and you take a little ginger and a little hawthorn and a little hawthorn leaf, and you mix it together and have a tea.
And a little shot of brandy.
And put a shot of brandy in it. There you go. See, Dave's thinking. Now you got it all. It's all your heart. Your day starts off with a good heart remedy. Now, if you want to add a little black coffee to it, you can. If you want to add a little green tea to it, you can. If you want to add other herbs with it, you can. Do some research on ATP production. One of the best herbs you can use for ATP production is something called rhodiola rosea. I like that. I like this herb. I really do. I mean, the more I research it, the more I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to manipulate this more and more. But I mean, the sky is the limit. And what I just showed you is a very small, element there of knowledge. I mean, there's so many things that you can use to, again, strengthen the heart. I mean, you got something here called EDTA. So let's say you did have a congested heart. In another segment with vitamin C or ascorbic acid, we're going to show you how to make this so that your heart is healthy and strong, and so is the rest of your body by using this in conjunction with other minerals. Okay, but again, this is a simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. If you want to go to the store and buy taurine, magnesium, and potassium, use them 5 times a day because you have a weak heart. Cheap way of doing it. They're not expensive in the United States. I think potassium chloride is probably about $6. Magnesium citrate, again, is probably another $6 or $7. Taurine is probably about maybe $8. For just a little under $25, you've got a heart remedy. In Canada, it's about $35 for us. Welcome to Canada, eh? Because we gave $250 million to Ukrainian people. Now we got to pay for it. I don't mind helping the Ukrainian people, but
it's not necessarily bad to help them. It's just is the money getting spent properly? Yeah,
we're getting raped in the process, which we shouldn't be. If we don't have the money to take care of our own people in Canada, how can we be helping somebody else? I have no problem helping the Ukrainian people or anybody really, but not at the expense of us. We're always paying for it, and then so you should be grateful you live in Canada. Really? We're becoming a third world country. Why should we be grateful? But anyway. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Keep it simple. Do not get caught up on, it's got to be, I got to do it all. Because always remember, a little is better than a lot. You don't need a lot. Little will work just as much as a lot. Okay, you don't need to take it all, but if you wish to, you can. All right, to the next segment, to your health.